Hey guys, how's it going? It is an absolutely gorgeous day here, and so wanted to share that with you. It is February, if you can believe that, February 25th in Wales, in the UK, where normally it's like gray and rainy, and it is like, I'm not joking, summer. Like I am outside, not even cold, like the hair on my arm isn't even standing up because it's like 60 something, close to 70 degrees out. So totally working that. And at the same time, I want to share with you the reality that life doesn't always feel like blue sky and sunshine, right? We have days where it feels like a hot mess. And funnily enough, believe it or not, today was one of those days, and it prompted me to get on here and just share with you what I'm learning about myself in that process, and sort of how to ride that wave and stay true to yourself through that whole process, that whole messy ups and downs. So I feel like a lot of times there is this expectation that we need to be constantly on par, right? Like constantly up here, constantly feeling good, lots of like positive psychology, like all that kind of stuff. And it kind of forgets and discounts the fact that like there is this roller coaster, there is this up and down. And so then when the down comes, if we're not prepared for it, or we're not being kind to ourselves in the process, or even having some tools or the bandwidth to deal with it, it can be such a debilitating factor and sort of spiral us into just a wasted energy. And especially when we're trying to put good stuff out in the world, make a difference, make an impact, the days where we are feeling like a hot mess, they feel so incongruent to what we're trying to achieve and help people with. That in and of itself can be a massive prompt for a shame spiral. And that's kind of where I was this morning. So I'm in the middle of bringing Embody to 5 different places over the course of 5 different places in March and April of this year. And the weight of it all and like the enormousness of it felt like, and I've got 1 sign up out of the 60 that I want to have over the course of those 5 classes, and just feeling like, oh my God, is this going to happen? Am I such a fool for doing this? And basically shame spiraling. And feeling like scattered, discombobulated, not really knowing. I had my to-do list of things I was going to do today, not really thinking that I have the energy for it. What should I do? Did my yoga this morning to sort of help ground. That wasn't working. Decided to go get some fresh air because, hey, the sun's out. And in the process of going for a walk, run, I realized, I'm actually resisting the feeling of the hot mess. I'm resisting feeling scattered. I'm resisting feeling unsure and uncertain. I'm resisting feeling my own shame. And because I'm resisting what's actually going on with me, I'm actually creating this vortex that's sucking me deeper into it. So this energy of denying what's actually going on was actually amplifying what was going on, as opposed to, and these are the words that came to me as I was going for a walk, of just permission to be where I am, permission to be scattered. And as soon as I said that to myself, Kendra, you have permission to just feel scattered today, it was almost like, and I feel it now, like everything that was clenching in my body, in my heart space, in my gut, in my core, everything that was going like this, just kind of went, right, so if you just picture like the fibers of my muscles going from here to here. And so I'll invite you to try that for yourself, because your body can be such a tool for kind of figuring out what's going on and knowing when you're in hot mess mode and when you can actually chill. But just check, like the next time you're feeling like crap, it's just, and as soon as you give yourself permission, I'm allowed to feel like crap. Just notice if anything in your body shifts. So for me, what it did is it allowed me to just open up, even like sit back a little bit and be like, oh, I'm here. Like I am in the scattered place. And it just kind of, with that space and expansiveness, it was like, okay, I now can take a step forward that is more real, because this is the scattered step forward as opposed to the resisting step forward. One of the things I've been working on really is growing into this space of receiving abundance and good things and all of that. And what I'm realizing is that I have to receive what isn't feeling so good too, and receive my shadow and my dark side and my own fears, and not deny that I'm angry at myself, or I'm fearful of the future, or shame, and all those things that can, we try to avoid. And so, yeah, just this practice of being present and permission for what is also another way to receive. And as women especially, this process of receptivity is like something that, I don't know about you, but like, I don't need receiving. Like, I've got this, right? I can do it on my own. We're very like independent woman, all that kind of stuff. And we forget that actually receiving and opening ourselves up to receiving support and other things is actually what we need. So a little bit of a sidebar there on receptivity, but going back to really being present and permission for the hot mess, what I realized is that there, what is really going on here is an energetic shift as well, right? It's going from a resisting to an acceptance. And to take that one step further, this fear, this like fighting, fighting is like an expression of our fear energy, to a place of love. And it's like, hello, like that's the only game in town, right? Like if we're always constantly being asked, shift from fear to love, and this is just another way that sometimes gets packaged. It doesn't look like fear, right? It looks like self-judgment that I'm having a shit day. But actually what we're being asked to do is like, just be okay with that. I'm having a crap day. And then. So what I found in my and in my next steps was actually this desire to put on a sundress, right? Get my skin some sun, put a little makeup on, feel beautiful, right? And what I realized is that I was like, oh yes, of course, right? Like I'm still allowed, I have this desire to feel good. So I can do what I gotta do to feel good, right? Like I don't have to wallow in the pity party. Saying that, your next right move might be to wallow in the pity party, because a month ago when I was in a very similar place, and hello cycles, I wallowed in my pool of pity and shame and God knows what else for a good 24 hours, which looked like a nap. It looked like sitting on my armchair, staring out the window and just being with what is. Again, not trying to fight it, but just allowing that to be there. And so like there's no right way, like there's no one way to deal with your hot mess. So you get to do this the way you need to, but just understand that there are some options, right? So it's perfectly fine to have a duvet day and just stay in bed all day, like no shame in that. It's also perfectly fine to let yourself feel good. So if that includes putting on some makeup and a dress, go for it. If it includes like taking a nice bath, making yourself some beautiful food, like find the place where there's the nourishment and the pleasure, right? Like a lot of times we vilify pleasure and we think, oh no, it's like indulgent and all that kind of stuff. But pleasure can be really nourishing, and pleasure can actually fuel you to take some steps even in that space of the uncertainty and the blah, and maybe lift you out of that blah a little bit enough to still have your wits about you to take some action on the to-do list. Or third option, maybe you park your to-do list until tomorrow or a different day, and you actually say, well, what would be really fun to do today? So instead of feeling like this heavy burden of work that I have to carry around me, what could I do that'd be fun? And for me, I was like, actually it'd be really fun to put on a dress, go in my garden and talk to you guys, right? So like that's what my response to the blah was. Understand that like, it's not so much the blah is gone, it's more that like these different energies are helping me wade through it with a stronger sense of self. And as opposed to the blah and the hot mess controlling me, I have a say and I'm feeling empowered in it. And so that's what I want to pass on to you, is that you have options. Do what you got to do. Maybe you got to nurture yourself and just be with yourself. Totally fine. You need to like just sit in the pool of tears. That was this morning on the yoga mat too. The tears came, right? The anger came. Maybe it's pulling in some pleasure that's going to nourish you, or some fun and more playfulness that's going to nourish you as well. So that's what I got for you today, just to say that those three things I have found and been taught through the practice of Embody, through the dance movement and through the wider Embody picture. And so if this is something that you want to start to practice for yourself a little bit more, I would highly encourage you to plug into a place where you can do this for yourself, check out embodidanceclass.com. It's being taught, I'm teaching it in the UK, it's being taught around the US, and also reach out for support. I offer coaching, other people offer coaching and therapies and different levels of support to really help you expand your range, so that you're not siloing yourself to, I only have to be good, I only have to achieve, I only have to perform, and anything outside this narrow bandwidth, because we know you can do that, you're brilliant at that. And there's so much more to you, and it includes the hot mess. And as soon as you can pull that hot mess into who you are and accept it, life starts to change, because you're able to, you're moving and shifting in a more authentic place, a more embodied place, not resisting a part of yourself. So thank you for listening. Have an awesome day. If it is sunny where you are, please go get some sunshine. And if it's not, like, the sun will come. Sit in the clouds, sit in the gray. All right. Lots of love, guys.